Hallelujah! All my New South Empire, wonderful and fantastic fun family of winners. This is the Winna'S Podcast, and I'm your winner, Fitz you Sergio Fevers Huff. I want to welcome everybody to the Winna'S Podcast, especially my special guest panelists, Lyric ETHU and Samuel Blue. Today we're going to be discussing tariffs, the pros and cons of tariffs, and also we're going to be discussing about how people were saying that how it was going to affect us, and basically the pros and cons, what's the latest developments of it, and also we're going to be talking about the dip and climbs of the stock. All right. With that being said, I want to start off with Samuel Blue. Samuel, what have you noticed about tariffs? And I've noticed myself that all the countries have been submitting and falling in line. It started a long time ago, but what are the latest developments that you noticed, Mr. Blue?
Well, everybody basically has been fighting for the reciprocal tariffs, ever since like Clinton, Obama, and basically now Trump, I think, is the only one that is enforcing it. The one thing that he did that I don't agree with is that he didn't match every country tariff for tariff. He basically cut what the U.S. will charge in half. So if, let's say, Vietnam is charging us 120%, the U.S. is only charging them 110%. 60%. So I don't agree with that. I think he just needs to go full circle, because they've been charging the U.S. tariffs for decades, and they've been creeping it up higher and higher and higher, and then countries like China and other places are taking advantage of it. So they're like building warehouses like in Vietnam and other places. So when you see your sneakers that says made in Vietnam, it still was made in China. They just did the final labeling in Vietnam so they can bypass the tariffs.
What about when you see like Sri Lanka? Also, Sri Lanka too. They were basically made in China too.
85 to 90% of everything that we wear, from Louis Vuitton, Nike, Chanel, Fendi, Hermes, Under Armour, all, just about 85 to 90% is made in China.
How is China able to monopolize like that anyway?
Well, they're not really monopolizing. They just charge the cheapest labor. Like that's how they're able to like build. They're basically an industrial company, and they basically supply the world, because you look at Target, you look at Walmart, you look at BJ's, you look at Sam's, and 80% of their products that they carry comes from China. It's manufactured and made in China. So it's not that they're monopolizing it. They're just able to charge us a low price. They're able to charge a low price. So if I'm starting a business, and let's say this one company is charging me $30 a hoodie, and I plan on selling it for $50, well, China's going to make that same hoodie for like $4. Same quality and everything. So who are you going to go with? I'm going with China.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like it goes to the lowest bidder, just like a contractor. Yeah, but I also want to say though. Okay, now they agreed. Trump had them at 145%, correct?
Yeah, but he dropped it. He actually changed a few things, because a lot of people, when you study like the Constitution and politics, you have certain types of leaders, and Trump would be considered a populist. So he basically does straw polls, and whatever is the highest, that's what he goes with. So a lot of people, he did his straw poll, and they were saying, well, they were complaining about iPhones, they were complaining about certain things going up to $3,000 for iPhone. So he basically said, okay, I'm going to exempt cell phones. I'm going to exempt certain things, because that's one thing I think he does. He's a populist, so he listens and goes with what's popular. That's why everything that he ran on when he ran for president, it was at least 70 to 80% of the population was for it. And that's literally why he won the way he did, because he basically ran on everything that was popular: closing the border, the tariffs, and strapping down on China. Because if you think about it, if the US ever went to war with China and China just decided to do an embargo, like, the US literally was shut down. And the way they're saying is that we shouldn't be reliant on one country for all of that stuff.
Right, right. That doesn't make sense. That's like they do have way too much power. It's a lot of stuff. I thought a lot of stuff was made in America for a while there. I seen a lot of stuff was saying made in America, but nowhere near as compared to China. Lyric. Well, what's your
Yes.
spin on it? What's your spin on this?
Um. Well. Yeah. Everybody needed to have been paying their fair share to America. We've given and given and given so much to some of everybody, and had some taken too. But yeah, everybody should have paid their fair share. So I'm in agreement that yeah, he should have charged them the full amount. But at the same time, on the flip side, I am absolutely loving the the response from the Chinese people of exposing the fashion industry, and how um I guess a good word would be I don't know how much of a facade it really is, that you're wearing designer, which I already knew because I've been in retail, so I already knew. But just to see them like come out and show you, and actually show you, and then offer you those same goods at a discount price, like yo, that is just a epic in your face to America. And at that point, that's going to sink a lot of these so-called luxury brand companies. It's going to take their profits so much, because yeah, now I don't have to go and spend three, four, five, $10,000 for your product. I can get it directly from who you have making it. And there's a bootlegger everywhere. I can get anybody to make me, and so I can sew on to a bag and say that I have one if that's what I so choose. But yeah, I am loving that part. I am absolutely loving that part.
So basically, if you getting a generic so-called bootleg or fake shit, you're getting basically almost the same thing that you would be getting
No,
from.
you're getting the same thing, the
It's
You
same
not
are
product.
getting
generic.
the same, huh?
You're
It's
getting the
not
same thing. You
generic.
just
It's
don't have the name on it. You just don't
no.
have the name on it. You're getting the
It
same
has the
thing.
name on it now.
Yeah, it.
Yeah, they are literally. And what you said, Lyric, would, by saying that China is like doing the FU to the US, to be honest, it's not even affecting the US. It's affecting
Yeah,
Europe, because when you look
it's
at who makes the money
right,
from luxury goods, Fendi,
right.
Gucci, Chanel, Prada, those are all European brands. So what China is doing, and
They
I
are
think this,
Nike as well.
yeah, but Nike is basically, everybody and their mother knows that 90% of China, Nike products are made in China. But I
Right,
think who's going to get the biggest hit is the second or third richest man in the world, who owns Louis Vuitton and those luxury brands. His worth is going to nosedive, because China has basically, you look on TikTok, they're walking you through their factories,
what and
It
showing
what.
sure
you
is,
the
yep. TikTok
manufacturing.
shop.
Like, they're literally showing you the Nikes in the factory, and
Right,
they're basically like the Travis Scott Nikes that are like $4,000. They're
right.
literally selling them for $27.
Oh yeah, I need to
You know,
check and see how much
$50 with shipping.
the
So
shoes are going for right now.
so that's going to basically, I think what that's going to do is basically redistribute, and it's going to have everyone around the world looking at, I think it's going to make people more subconscious about their spending.
Right, and down to earth. It's bringing everybody down to earth because you've essentially been overpaying
So
for
so
crap.
so
For
Timu,
normal people clothes.
so Timu got the same shit as the mall got.
Oh
No, I
no.
ain't going to say Temu.
Oh no, we ain't doing that.
Oh.
We ain't
Well,
doing that.
when you order something from China, they're going to tell you, okay, we have A, B, and C quality.
Right.
A quality, let's say a pair of Travis Scotts that cost $1,000 here. If you tell them you want A quality, that pair of Travis Scotts is going to cost you like $300. And you will not be able to tell the difference between one or the other, the box and everything. If you
Right.
tell them I want grade B won't come with the box. The shoe's going to be amazing. Everything is going to be tight with the shoe. It just doesn't come with the packaging. Then you go to grade C, where grade C is like just somebody off the street. Nobody will be able to tell you. But
Right.
what you notice on the TikTok shop and all these social media that China's doing all this exposing is they're not offering grade D. Now you see grade D, and that's basically glued together. It's in a cheap
Right.
factory.
That's what the Jumpman like.
That's like Temu. Temu is considered grade D. You're still getting something, but it's not quality control. But
Gotcha.
I just think that it's basically resetting the distribution of wealth, because all these luxury brands, now you're gonna have all these folks walking around bragging about how they paid $3, $4, $5,000 for their bag, and people like us gonna be sitting there laughing at them, like, yeah,
Right.
that was dumb, you know. So I think people are gonna be a lot more conscious, and I think the number one purchaser of luxury goods is the Black community. So what
Right.
I feel that's going to do is going to help more wealth stay in the Black community, because people aren't just going to spend money needlessly anymore.
Right. Right. No, when they put out the Louis V fan and boots for the boots on the ground,
Mhm.
one of the Chinese sites countered and put out where they could get the exact same thing, and it was like 30 something dollars for the boots, and it's like
Mhm.
So y'all mean to tell me like the $3,000 Travis Scott equivalent to the $27 ones made by China?
I would say the $100, the grade A.
The grade A.
Yeah,
So that's
you
gonna
always
kill,
you
that's
always
gonna
have
kill.
to keep in mind grade A, B, C, and D.
right.
So the tariffs are gonna kill everything.
Well, what's happening is this is the thing where China is smart. What they're
Right.
doing is,
They've made the price so low that the tariff will pay for itself.
I
Well, but
mean,
you know what though?
it's still discounted.
I haven't noticed any increase in anything. You know what I'm saying? The tariffs ain't hurting nothing. Like the so-called woke folk are saying, the so-called woke folk talking about this,
People with money
the
don't
people
notice
that's
an
always
increase.
talking about woe is me. Oh yeah, by the way, y'all, we got a
People-
special guest with us tonight. Come on. Look who just joined me. Hey.
Hi,
Say
baby.
hello, everybody. All right. Today you gotta be quiet and listen, okay? Y'all
Yeah,
know who this is. Lovely legacy.
people with money don't notice the pinch.
Uh-huh.
People with money don't notice the pinch.
No, I ain't got no money like that. I don't know. You notice the pinch though?
Yeah, I noticed the pinch.
I mean, but age ain't got nothing to do with Trump. Age got to do with the bird
My
flu.
hey, we ain't gonna talk about Edge because that's what he promised on the first day.
No, he said on the first day he was going to initiate it. It's
Hey,
impossible
man.
for him to change
Look,
anything on
I
the
ain't
first
thinking
day.
about them eggs. Them eggs is high as I don't know what right now. but we still gonna eat them, still gonna pay for them. But
Yeah,
guess
still
what?
gonna pay
I
for
don't
them.
scramble a lot no more. I scramble what I need.
I don't know. It didn't make. I don't see any difference. Gas is going down. You know. I don't care if gas get up to be $20 a gallon. I got to have it. I got to get it. You know what I'm saying? You got,
Yeah, see, everybody can't say that though.
you know.
Everybody can't say that. I can go get me some gas. I'm not on that bottom rung
Yeah.
anymore. But I've been there and I remember it because I don't ever want to go back. So I'm gonna always remember what that was like.
Right. Okay. So now, what about El Salvador? Let's talk about that a little bit.
That's a
Okay.
little rough.
Now, okay. So far, out of how many it was? It's
I mean,
32,500.
yeah,
It's thirty-two thousand
sending
five
people
hundred and
over.
seventy something. 32,570 so far. Gang members sent there. Out of that, is what three that was mistakenly so called mistakenly. I think that's a great ratio. Well,
That
what,
that
what do you think
that
about
is
that, Mr. Blue?
Yeah, I don't think it was even mistakenly because, of course, you have some people that when they were younger, they were gang members.
Uh huh.
But everybody in El Salvador know they were the murder capital of the world
Mm-hmm.
because in order to become one of those members, you had to actually take a life, like literally.
right.
Part of your initiation was taking a life. So everybody, so if I'm 18 and I join it and I take a life, I'm guilty in El Salvador. But I know when the borders open here in the US and I can get Social Security, I can get all these benefits. I'm going to try my hardest to get there and try to start fresh.
Correct.
But what happens and when they did the interview today with the president of El Salvador in the Oval Office, the reporters were asking, "Look, are you going to bring this guy back from Virginia?" He's like, "No, he's guilty of crimes in El Salvador."
Yeah.
He's like,
What about the one in Maryland?
Yeah, the one that got caught up, he wasn't supposed to be there. He ain't even do no crime, so they know.
But
As far
but
as they know,
he had every insignia on his body.
did he?
Y'all recognize that?
"Well, you pay the cost to be the boss. If I put blood on my shoulder or Crip on my shoulder,
Right.
Right.
guess what?
That's
If
what
I'm
you
trying to
are.
perpetrate like I'm a blood or a
Yeah,
Crip,
that's what you are.
guess
You got
what?
to wear them consequences.
When the police hem me up, guess
Right.
what? I can't be upset if they consider me an affiliated of one of those gangs.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. So I mean, so what is the process? What are they doing now? Are they bringing the Virginian back?
No, nobody in El Salvador. The president of El Salvador said today, he's like, they not, he said, they are El Salvadorian citizens and they are not going nowhere. He said
Right.
that judge does not hold jurisdiction in El Salvador, and the U.S. has paid for those inmates, and the U.S. is not getting their money back.
And the judge, the federal judges enforced gave Trump permission for the deportations. So and backed them on the deportation. So that just like really solidified it. So basically, their tails are grass, and El Salvador is the lawnmower.
Boy, that's
Yeah,
rough.
yeah, that's rough, right? So, I mean, basically, it's just like if you do the crime, you got to do the time.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
so,
hey, it is what it is.
but I want to know how was this fluffed up to where they isolated these three to
I guess
say that they were practically innocent. Anybody got any information on that?
I guess from their family situations, because they just snatched those people.
Uh, they did what now?
They just snatched those people from Wherever they were at, they just snatched those people.
I thought they were I thought they was investigated and targeted out.
They were in their homes. Like the one guy from Maryland that was caught. What happened was there was a MS-13 member that lived next door, and he happened to be over at his home. So they're like, if you know, like he's like, everybody from El Salvador, you know if they're a gang member or not. And they're saying that if you hanging out with them, you're gonna get caught up in it if you hanging out with them.
Oh yeah, guilty by association.
So
But
they're basically saying, and the ICE, the guy that's over ICE basically said, if you know one of your boys is an MS-13 gang member and they're over here, you need to stop hanging out with them, because if we catch them and you with them, you getting sent back too.
Right.
So they gave the warning. They said if you there, and then another guy, they caught him because he was sharing the Wi-Fi of the MS-13 gang member that they arrested.
Ooh.
So they're like, if you're sharing Wi-Fi, you have the actual password. That means you have a relationship with them. That's how they're looking at it.
That's rough.
But I tell people, like, I'm just glad that with the tariffs, and it's almost like everything is kind of like a reset. Everything is I don't want to say necessarily common sense, but like there's just certain things, like people been I hear people complaining about grocery prices and things like that, but then their kid has $150 sneakers on or $200 sneakers on. They got $700 PS5 or Xbox, so I don't think it's not being able to afford it. It's the priority. It's just not the same.
And you're not working. You're not working, you know what I'm saying? You're doing something else, But yeah, it's rough. And then too, I mean, why and then I've noticed that people rally around people who don't rally and support people who don't care about them and have done harm to them. Did you see the protesters in Denver? Did you see the protesters in Denver when those people were the ones that were, what was it, infiltrating the housing and everything in Denver, and then in Chicago, how even the police in Chicago wasn't assisting the ICE officers and stuff, and when they was trying to arrest these people, and some citizens were assisting them in escaping. It's just crazy. This world is really crazy. But
I mean,
go ahead,
not
Larry.
all of them are bad people.
Huh?
Not all of them are bad people, and when you put yourself into a community and that community is used to seeing your face and knows you and knows your character and knows you as a person, then yeah, you might find an ally that's going to try to help you and hide you in the house and take you somewhere or whatever the case may be. Everybody is not a bad person. Everybody, you've been to jail, ain't you?
Oh yeah, I've been to jail. But
Okay,
you know
then.
what? When I did, let's put it this way. Everybody don't think the same. You're correct. Okay. Now when I did what I did, and when I was doing what I was doing, I knew there was a chance, a very strong chance that I was gonna get popped.
Right.
So I put some away for that reason. And then when the time came, I got 9 years and I ended up doing 18 months. And I did it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, but nowadays, people want to cry. They want to tell on other people. They want to bring other people down. It's not the same anymore.
It's definitely not the same.
And not too much is not the same no more. And then nowadays, Mugs need GoFundMe to get their attorney. I mean, first of all, everybody was the kingpin. The hardest thing about prison when I was there was listening to the
Right.
conversations. How everybody was kingpin and what they had going on and what they're gonna do different when they get out. That was the hardest part about prison, listening to them conversations. But nowadays it's just not prepared. And I wouldn't even say with prison. I'm talking about prison of mind. Like right now, whatever Trump got
Oh,
going
a lot
on,
of people locked up.
if you don't like Trump, if you hate Trump, take advantage of what he got going on. Forget Trump. I can't say what I
Right.
normally say. I got my daughter here. Forget Trump. Take advantage of what he got going on. You know what I'm saying? Get that money. Right, daughter? You got to get that money. Okay, paint your nails. Excuse me. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's just, this world is just it's full of a bunch of woe is me whiners. That's the worst part is the whining. Oh, Trump this. Oh, Trump that. I'm not letting
Yeah.
no mere
Trump don't
perfect,
affect nothing over here.
right, mere perfect inhuman being affect the quality of my life. You know? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I agree there. That's some weak shit.
Yeah, that's
Excuse my
some weak
language. I'm
stuff
sorry,
right there.
baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a weak mentality. When you let somebody else dictate your movement.
Yeah, for real.
'Cause I'm gonna
And,
figure it out. I'm gonna always figure it out.
okay, now I just noticed it just came across my screen up here. They're saying that the tariffs on the smartphones is the most inconsistent and the highest. Did y'all hear anything about that?
Mm, I'm still in Texas, so I haven't been hearing much of anything. I'm working.
Oh, what you doing? Well, yo, you still up there in Texas? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, but shit, well, you up there in the Republican state, so
Oh yeah.
you might switch. You might come back red. Hey,
Well, I might come back a shade darker because this heat out here is something. The sun is working.
really?
but but yeah, no,
Wow.
they red faced out here. They looking real quite shamed. The conversations are not they.
Okay, now let's go to this. It was something else I wanted to tap in on. You know how they always attacking my winner. They keep attacking. Now they saying that he's an inside trader, like Martha Stewart. If Martha Stewart can get time, he can get time. I want to know what the hell did he inside trade on Sam? Allegedly.
Zero. Literally, anybody that deals with stocks knows there's two main rules of stocks. You never buy high, and you take every opportunity to buy as low as you can. So when everybody was scared of all the tariffs and all the stocks, Nvidia, Tesla, all those things were nosediving, that's part of the play, because the national debt is coming due to to be refinanced. So if the stock market is basically gone, all those treasuries, everything goes into treasuries. So when it's refinanced, it's going to be refinanced to 2% versus 7%. So that basically saves the US $5 trillion of paying interest payments every year. So basically, everybody knew, like, I'm in investment groups and everybody is talking about, oh man, when are you about to dive in? When you diving in? When you diving in? And I tell you what, that morning that Trump tweeted, today is a great day to buy. He tweeted to everybody. Everybody in my dang on investment Facebook group started flying up everything. They emptied out their Bitcoin and all that. They was buying Nvidia, the Solana. They was buying everything, and I was happy. And then they also knew that the very next day, all that stuff you bought and made that big profit, because the market was going to adjust because it was a panic buy. So now everybody sold the following day and they made that $35,000 profit, or that 100K profit. So now everybody's waiting for the next dip. So all that money that they made on this one, they set it to the side and they're waiting for the next dip for it to go down. That's the stock market. And it was no insider trading because it wasn't like specifically you need to buy this or you need to buy just that. It was today is just a great day to buy stocks, and everybody was looking for it. I don't care what your skin color is. If you invest in stocks or the stock market, you was waiting for that dip.
I saw a lot of people happy on my timeline.
Yeah, but that was short lived. One it was just what for 3 days. What
Yeah,
it
those
was
that
messed
bought
up.
and
It
sold
was
were happy.
it was messed up for like 4 days, right? And then 3 days. But
Well,
it was still up today, this morning, right? It's still up, right?
yeah, but it went back down. The main thing is everybody knows that the market is going to adjust because people panic. People will panic and sell, and stocks will go down. And then when everybody starts buying, people will panic that they're not going to get in time, and they'll buy it up. So basically, what a lot of people are waiting for is for the market to normalize, and the market probably won't be completely normalized till like May. And that's when the new they're trying to approve the next budget plan and all that stuff. That's when the vote comes in May. And then the tariffs that were put on pause for the countries that reached out to the White House to like negotiate, that's when that 90-day expires. So there's going to be another panic. So that's the flag right there to tell people, start saving up your money, because come that time is buying to that dip. Like it's not like rocket science. Sell high, buy low.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no insider trading. If it was specifically about one company, I didn't hear Trump say anything about NVIDIA, and NVIDIA stock almost doubled.
Okay, so what is Bill O'Reilly talking about? The Congress people that Trump appointed are being investigated for inside trading.
I think Bill O'Reilly owns something. He might be on that fentanyl or something, but
Because he flip flop too much. One day he on Trump jockstrap, and then the next day he don't know where he at. Yeah, he on something. I think so too.
But that's just politics. I just think, like, I tell people, like, everybody, if you look into Trump's cabinet, 80% of his cabinet are billionaires. Daddy. Like they're literally billionaires, so they already have money. Like the Treasury Secretary, he was dirt poor, immigrant parents, and now he's a billionaire. The Commerce Secretary, he's a billionaire. McMahon over Department of Education, she's a billionaire. The Loeffler that's over the Small Business Administration, she's a billionaire. But what they do is they have experience in that specific area. And it's like, who would you trust to do something or manage something for you? Would you manage somebody that built it from nothing and became a billionaire? Or would you have somebody that to do your taxes that they owe money every year? Or the IRS sending them notices every year that they owe money and they about to go to prison? I'm gonna trust the one who has that track record, that they have a history of doing what they do well. Yeah, certain things fail, but look at the game that Elon Musk just did with buying, using his company to buy his other company to the value that it had dropped. Now is a complete tax write-off. If that ain't a chess move, so I just think people need to, focus and watch what these people are doing, and they need to fall in line and try to learn what they're doing so they can apply it to their life.
I agree. I think with all of these best-selling books. Oh, you know what? I just thought about Y'all think Stephen A. Smith's serious about running for president?
You know what? I think he is, but
I think he is too.
I think Kamala Harris has a better chance than him, and that's not saying a lot.
You think
That's
so?
funny.
You think the giggler got a better chance than Stephen A?
Yeah.
Really? So
Stephen
you
A.
so
has
do you
said
think
too
do
much,
you
done
think the
too
giggler
much.
you think the giggler got a better chance than Jasmine Crockett?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Stephen
You do
has said
too?
too much and done too much.
You do too, Lyric?
Yes.
This is the thing. When you look at a president, a lot of people look at who they're going to put in their cabinet, because it's not basically the president that runs everything. They delegate people to do certain things. So when you look at Stephen A's circles, all he has in his circles are athletes, and a lot of them don't even like him.
No, they
So
sure don't.
So who is he going to pick for the Small Business Administration? Who is he going to pick for HUD? Who is he going to pick for Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Commerce? Or
Yeah.
he doesn't have any of that in his circles. At least Kamala Harris does, or she has people that can tell her, okay, this is who you should pick, and she may listen to him. Stephen A. Smith don't have any guidance whatsoever in politics. That's why I don't think he would do well, just like Jasmine Crockett. She's that same way. She's not in those circles to where like, if you ask her today, who will be your Secretary of Treasury? I guarantee you she wouldn't be able to tell you. She would just probably say, oh, well, we ain't going back to picking cotton, and leave it at that.
Oh, Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah.
All right, what about Cory Booker?
No, he's even worse.
He's worse than Stephen A?
Yeah. What people don't understand when it comes to these positions is that people don't like to leave Congress depending on what board they are. If they're if they're the chair of the board or the judiciary chair or something like that, they're not going to leave that, because Congress controls the money. The Senate controls the laws. So that's why Nancy Pelosi never ran for president. She never ran for governor, because when she at a young age became over judiciary and treasury and all that, that's why her and her husband was able to make so much money. You know, she makes $175,000 a year for the last 20 years, but yet her net worth is $120 million.
Yeah, because she did some inside trading.
Yeah, but that's the thing. She didn't do the insider trading. What she did was worse. She was the chair of the committee that voted what Visa was able to do, voted on what MasterCard was able to do. And then they were able to sell 5,000 shares or buy up 5,000 shares before that bill passed. So that's to me, that would be more insider trading. But I guarantee you, if they stop people in Congress and the Senate from buying stock or being able to buy individual stock, half the people in there wouldn't be running anymore.
Yeah,
They would, because that's how they get their bag.
Wow. So how was they able to stick it to Martha White, but not able to stick it to Nancy Pelosi?
Because Martha had emails and all that. They had communication. She had communication with the company that they had, and then the person that she was dealing with, the IRS hemmed him up, and he turned on her. He basically snips on her.
But Hillary did too.
Hillary did what? Hillary killed everybody who was snitching on her.
What do you mean? Come on, let's elaborate on that. Let me ask my.
Look at the guy who leaked that she had an email server in her basement. They found him with 3 gunshots to the side of his head. How you gonna shoot yourself in the head 3 times? but they said it was suicide. Like, it's just coincidence that 17 to 18 people that stepped against her now are no longer breathing. It's not her, but that's definitely a coincidence.
You think she that ruthless?
I think Hillary is one of the most dangerous people on this planet.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I think Hillary would have been a great president.
Why? Because she gangster?
No, but she don't take no shit. She'll stand up to you now with her chest out. Yeah. But
I don't know. She submitted mighty quickly.
She was heartbroken because she knew she had got robbed. Poor baby.
Oh, we don't have to.
At the
end of the day, she was still a woman. She had to go cry. I know she did. I would have cried.
But how'd she get robbed?
We're not gonna talk about that. Let's move on. What do y'all think about Carmelo Boy?
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Let's go. Let's talk about the stabbing. Let's talk about the stabbing. They did reduce his bond. They didn't say how much yet, but they did reduce his bond.
Yeah, it's 250,000.
That's 250,000. He got 340,000 donated through GoFundMe.
That GoFundMe.
Right, through GoFundMe.
Not GoFundMe.
It's called Give and Go, or
yeah.
Okay.
It's not GoFundMe. The family had the one that was on GoFundMe removed because it was a fake account, and then they got so much, from people donating or whatever, that it was so much feedback, so much negative feedback and hatred.
Well, GoFundMe doesn't allow people that are the accused to have a GoFundMe.
Only the victim. Right.
Only the victim. So there were like 3 or 4 GoFundMes, but GoFundMe reversed everything, and now the current company.
No, I only saw 1 for Carmelo. I saw 4 for the victim. Well,
no, you can be GoFundMe. Well, yeah, that's the thing. GoFundMe does not let accused have a GoFundMe. That's been their history. It's not because he's black or anything. They just don't allow that. As soon as they find out, they end.
I just saw that it was the family. They said the family requested it because it wasn't their account.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know the current one he has may be removed also with the other company, because they have a policy as far as the accused also. So they're reviewing it now. That's why the Anthony family can't access those funds. And that's what they told the judge today, that they can't access any of that funds because the company is holding all that money because they may return it to everybody. Right. And that's why the judge lowered the bond from $1 million to $250,000 and put him on house arrest, and he just can't be on any social media. But that was one of the reasons why the judge lowered it, because she said, well, y'all have the 15% of $1 million raised. And his attorney showed proof that whatever that company was sent them notification that those funds were frozen.
Right.
So that's not just GoFundMe. A lot of those companies don't allow the aggressor or the accused to have those funds. That's
not true though, because Kyle Rittenhouse had his GoFundMe. Zimmerman had a GoFundMe.
No, Kyle Rittenhouse, his got removed, and he went through. There was a different app that he was able to start raising money through, and then there were like private people who was collecting the money for him.
Okay.
But GoFundMe did remove Kyle Rittenhouse's GoFundMe account. Okay. Because they said nobody accused. They can't do that. It's a violation of their one of their policies.
Right. So what do you think about the deceased family having 4 accounts?
I mean, they're the victims. They can have 20 accounts.
Yeah. If you're the victim, yeah.
But I'm saying, morally, what do you think about that? Because each account has over 250,000.
But this is the thing, Lyric. Let me ask you this: if I was to approach you and say, "Hey, Lyric, I'm down on my luck. You got $200 I can use. I don't know when I can pay you back, but could I get $200?" You are either going to tell me no, or you're going to give me that $200. And most people give that money freely without focusing on, am I going to do the right thing with it? Or am I going to abuse it? And when people give to anybody, like if I give money or I donate, I give it just hoping that they'll do the right thing with it. But at the end of the day, I gave the money to them. Once it leaves my hands, it's out of my hands. Morally, you may say, yeah, it's not right. Yeah, if somebody has like multiple accounts, I'm going to be like, look, a victim, what was your life insurance at? How come you ain't have a life insurance policy? How come you didn't plan or do certain things prior to that? You know, but that's not my place to like put judgment on anybody. I just say, hey, you know, somebody hit me up the other day, was like, hey, you know, I don't know when I can get. I was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it.
That's what I'm doing.
We go back enough. Don't worry about that. We good.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I Claire. That's what I'm doing from now on. I'm either saying no, or I'm not loaning no more money. Period. I'm saying no, or here you can have this.
Yeah.
But thank God for my fiance, because now I could put it on her. I could say I gotta ask her first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that helps a lot. I'm trying to tell you. You know, without me putting it on her, I say I gotta discuss it with my fiance first. You know? For real.
Right.
I'm serious, man. I'm not doing it no more because you can lose friends behind so-called friends behind that junk, man. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing I'll tell them, look, I'd rather keep you as a friend. You know what I mean? I'd rather keep you as a friend. Because if you don't pay me, we done.
Yeah.
We done, you know, and I got, man, if I had like, well, let me see, if I had 25% of what was owed to me, oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
I'm learning how to say no.
I learned how to say no.
I really learned this year. And especially since I've been in a relationship now, I really learned it because I got my daughter, I got my mama, and my fiance, and right now that's what matters to me more than anything. So my engineer said we only have 5 minutes left, so we're getting ready to close right now. But I think next week we're definitely going to talk about relationship. I just got the text stating what the situation was, and it's not grim. It's okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was, but yeah, co-host will be with me next week. You guys will be next week. Hawthorne James is still on set and still filming, and he's out of the country, as a matter of fact. So, I don't know if he'll be back next week, but us four will be in place next week, and we're going to discuss the current events and relationships will be implemented at that time. With that being said, I got to go in here and not play, but be daddy. Which I love.
And don't forget to hit the thumbs up, everybody.
Okay.
What you mean by that?
The thumbs up on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Everybody, y'all hit thumbs up, subscribe.
Thank you.
Become a winner if you are. We already know you're the winners, but come on, let's be major winners. All right, straight like that. Peace, love, and hair grease.
All right.